CREWCast. 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 Give it up for the CREWCast!
That's the importance of most podcasts, is where does the gremlin go?
Yeah. Really? Does he always make an appearance?
He's always there, ready to
Feel like
ruin
you should
stuff.
just like linger
Drop
up in
a
the
blackout
top
in
or-
when you least want it.
Yeah.
He's ready to rock and roll. So, we're back.
Hello there.
We're back because we're back on the whiskey, we're back on the cigars, we're back on the fun, and a lot of you commented before actually saying good.
Yeah.
You were starting to sound like two grumpy old men. And I was like, well, we're not old, but we're definitely grumpy.
Yeah.
Because
definitely.
we were working hard, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
We were working till we were tired. Shit was going on. I got a lot of stuff going on in my life. There was a lot going on in his life. So the behind the scenes was just a whole hectic thing going on, and we were just coming on here and being like, end of the week, bro. And we couldn't drink most of the time because you had to get off because you couldn't even stay over.
Yeah.
So we didn't even get to have gay sex at all. That was just the worst.
Just a little bit. Oh.
Just no release whatsoever. I mean, I just had to go
already.
with that's probably demonetized us straight off the bat.
God damn it.
I'm going to have to... But I just said something that I had to cut out. And you're not going to hear it. But it was funny. Just living the knowledge that everyone in the room laughed.
I just
High
said
five
the- I
me and
just
went,
said the
lecture,
F-
hilarious.
I just said the F word as well.
For God's sake, Lou. We're trying to not be potty mouthed.
We're trying not to swear
getting
too much.
demonetized on blooming YouTube.
I have been warned.
Yeah, so we can't say certain things within the first few minutes. We have to just...
Can you bleep this next one
You
out?
can't even
Because it's
bleep.
just
No,
reminded me of
no,
something.
you can't even bleep.
Or
Even if you
just
bleep...
dip the sound on it then.
Yeah, we have to do sound.
Dip the sound on
bits.
this one. Can you remember Bow Selector? Can you remember when Davina...
Why would you even go here?
No,
when we're
Davi-
trying to not get
No,
demonetized.
it's because
Why
of
was
this...
your hey, do you remember? And then... Beep, 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 beep,
When they did the Davina McCall thing, it's like, this is Davina McCall live.
say-
Please don't say fuck or bugger.
I used to love a little monkey. Remember a little monkey?
No, it was a bear, wasn't it? The little
Oh, is it a little bear?
Yeah.
Ah.
And he used to get a
Yeah,
rat.
he had his little Frankfurter. He used to
Yeah.
say hello.
Oh!
Yeah. All right. Okay. So we're gonna have had some cutouts. We're gonna end up swearing later on.
I think that's fine.
But, like-
Okay, like generalized swearing is okay, I think, according to the YouTube gods. But you can't say certain words, like the C word.
Yeah.
No C words.
Yeah.
No
I like
N
that
word,
word.
which
Obviously,
who
it's
doesn't
not
know
gonna
that?
Yeah.
And no F word, which some of you, not as in the FUCK, more along the lines of offending people who like to lay with people of the same gender.
Yeah.
You know the word.
Yeah.
Nobody, I don't think people use that much anymore anyway, unless
Yeah.
you're kind of
What
wearing
about if
a
you're
white,
talking
a white
about, like-
pillowcase on your head and riding around in a truck.
What about if you're talking about the food that is
Well, yeah, now that is an actual food. Do you know I
yeah.
had that the other week?
Mr. Brains?
So I'm not going to
the
say it.
brand.
They'll ban us even have a say for that. So it's another word for
We
a
need to do
type
an
of
episode
sausage.
just revolving around Mr. Brains, and then we'll just see if they demonetize us. We're just there eating them.
So this week-
these are some good.
This is some good
True.
Yeah.
True.
sausages.
Yeah.
So this week, trying not to get demonetized alongside us, we have a guest, and it is Mr. Sam. What's your last name?
Neath.
See, I knew I couldn't say that. That sounds like queef.
It's a place of
And
Wales.
I was going to say, I was like, all that came into my head, my brain went, it's queef. I was
Here's
like,
Sam
it's
Queef.
definitely not that. Neath.
Yeah,
Sam
Sam
Neath. Sam, introduce yourself to the folks.
I am Sam Neath, and I'm the founder of brand Zenfoul Men, which is a clothing brand which I started out of a byproduct of my own struggles. It was a lockdown baby.
Yeah.
It was a lockdown baby. I'm sure a lot of us were obviously struggling. And I think a lot of businesses actually got born
Yeah.
during that lockdown.
Yeah, I think a lot died and a lot were born.
Yeah.
I think
In
lots,
many-
lots
in many
of things
respects.
changed. Yeah. And I guess, it did shift a lot. Some people had loads more free time that they wouldn't have had, which kind of almost gave them the physical time to do it. But then also sometimes when you've had all of the other distractions.
Explaining.
No, when you've had all the other
You
distractions.
know when nothing's happening and you do stuff compared to when stuff's happening and you don't do stuff.
Oh, fuck.
You nearly did it. Nearly did it. But you're doing a lot of stuff through mindfulness towards men and helping people through some tough times.
Yeah,
You know,
so
charity work and things like that. What's going on?
the reason I actually started the brand was to raise awareness of the rising suicide rates amongst men. And obviously during lockdown, we had the worst suicide rates since the Second World War, I think it was. So the slogan streetwear that cares. So it is heavily involved in streetwear, and we sell grade A streetwear.
Yeah, so if you're watching on Spotify or YouTube, we're wearing the Zenfoul Men.
They're
I'd like to
repping.
point out as
The
well,
boys are repping.
We're not quite sure when this happened, but Lou and I have apparently crossed over into XL.
Oh,
It's happened, yeah.
I was mad at large.
and they fit well, boys. I'm not gonna lie. Sorry. to lie.
This is the problem. I was like, it's going to be gappy. Nope.
Yeah.
Nope, we've eaten too many sausages, Luke. We're going to have to start that summer cut for winter.
What type of sausage are you talking about?
You know the type.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so we sell streetwear.
So yeah, the links will be in description. What are you on Instagram?
Yes, we are @ZENFUL_men. So that's ZENFUL, not ZENFUL Men. It's ZENFUL
Zenful.
Men. ZENFUL.
You're full of zen.
Yes, exactly. And since we started, we've raised over £13,150 for
Amazing.
charity.
Amazing.
Yeah, we've been trading for, I think, 15 months.
Yeah, that's some good going.
So we also do fundraisers to raise awareness of different techniques. So I did the ice cold therapy challenge where I did 2.5 hours in an ice barrel in 1 week, which was painful. The BBC actually came over.
Yeah,
to
let's just talk through
document
this because we had a quick chat about this before. So I went to Portugal and did a cold water dip in a river at 6:30, like 6 in the morning. So the river was cold. We got in there. I think the river was 9 degrees. So cold enough to knock the air out of you when you go in quick, but like acclimatized quite fast.
Yes. Yeah.
We got in there. We got cocky around about 10 minutes. We were like, yeah, actually, no. We were swimming around and started jumping in off the pontoon and stuff like that. And we were in there for about 15 minutes. Got out. We all started shivering a little bit. We're talking like, you feeling a bit? I think it was hilarious that we were talking like this. I've got it on. I haven't put the video up on YouTube yet, but there's a video of me sat on the pontoon afterwards doing a vlog about just being in the water. And so we run up and jump into what we thought was a warm jacuzzi. But on hindsight, I think what we jumped into was a cold jacuzzi that just felt warm.
Yeah.
So we were in bubbly cold water, being all of us sat there, and this thing was like still shivering. We're like, you're all still shivering. And everyone was like, yeah. So let's go get in the shower. We went and run into the shower, and I had hot water running on me. I'd say like 20, 30 minutes. I stood in the shower and I let my body just like relax because it was going like boom, boom. You know that weird thing that people do with the chest, the alien chest? You see on Instagram.
Oh, yeah,
and all their fibers. It was doing that.
Yeah.
So I was laughing because it was like a
You couldn't
mirror.
breathe, essentially, so you couldn't control the breath.
No, I was breathing fine. But
Yeah?
my body was just going.
Oh, you were just getting the muscle spasms.
The muscles were just going boom, and the whole body was going boom, like convulsing a little bit. I was laughing. I was watching the mirror, going, letting my body fully relax so I could let it maximum shake.
Yeah.
And my chest was going. It was doing that, and then about 45 minutes, I was cold for a good 45 minutes afterwards. And we went up and we met the guy who owns the retreat, and he's like, "Oh, did you do the cold water this morning?" I went, yeah. He said, "How long are you staying for?" About 15 minutes. I went, "What?" We were in for about 15 minutes, not very long. He went, "But it's 9. You're supposed to stay in for the same amount of time to the degrees of the water."
That's the rule of thumb.
Yeah. And then we were like, "Oh." He was like, "How did you get cold?" We were like, "Yeah," for like 45 minutes after. He went, "Ah, cool. Yeah, that's the onset of hypothermia." And we were like, "Oh, that's not so funny anymore." So that was our bodies about to really just be like, "Hey, bro.
Yeah.
You're going to die in a little bit. Might want to get out." I was out, went back in to do a hair flick. Like, purely
for the gram, of course.
Purely for it, yeah. Went back in and was in there for like another 3 minutes, perfecting this flip in slow motion. So, yeah, I doubled down on the hypo.
Nice.
It was hard. 2.5 hours was hard. Obviously,
No. You've ignored the point here.
okay.
3 degrees.
3 degrees.
You did it at 3 degrees. You were
3 degree
trying
water.
to die.
In February, so you've seen my barrel. My barrel's in my garden.
Yeah.
Oh, it is cool.
And it was tap water straight into the barrel, and then every time we'd be putting the ice in, and we were very, very strict on measuring how cold the barrel was. So yeah,
So you were
we might have done a couple. It was like 5 degrees, but
Okay,
still.
So you were in there for how long at a time?
I was doing around 10 to 12 minutes.
Okay, cool. So like 4 times the time you should have been in there. So you were basically doing a charity to help save lives by killing yourself.
Thing is, the more you obviously do it, the more you
Yeah.
train the vascular system,
That's
which will
impressive,
help to
3 degrees.
And I'm a skinny guy. You've got a bit more muscle and a little.
I don't think that's a benefit.
No?
We lose heat. I'd lose heat way faster than you would because of the muscle holds so many more like capillaries and has
Yeah, I
more
think you're
blood in
right,
it.
actually,
We shift heat out way more.
Yeah.
Like I'll get real sweaty compared to you. If we start playing sport, I'll get sweaty really fast. and it's because it's the body trying to cool itself.
Yeah,
down
that
so
does
much.
make sense.
So it's actually not
when
a
you go
benefit.
into the cold, the arteries, capillaries, and veins, they open up to allow norepinephrine to go around the body, which is the body's natural way of warming the body up. So as soon as you go into the cold, they go boom and they open, and it allows the blood to transport around the body to warm the body up essentially.
Yeah.
But obviously over time, when we're always wearing hoodies, controlling the heating in our home, in our car, you lose that function
big girls.
of it opening.
We're all a bunch of big girls. We're soft. We're super soft.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, so really we've lost the ability to use these muscles in our veins and arteries, you know. And so
Yeah,
we need to
we've
train
lost-
this method.
We are de-evolving.
Yeah.
Aren't we?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, 100. We're going to be just hunched over thumbs soon.
We're going to end up, you know, like Wall-E, the film. That will just be us, like
hover
yeah,
carts.
all just like driving around in a little.
And they'll
hover
just be
cart.
like, just your bed underneath it will just have a hole that will open up. You'll be like, poop, and the hole will open up, and you're like,
shit.
bang, you just poof it off.
it'll be
And
a
then-
vacuum as well, so you don't even have to strain. It'll just suck it out of you.
just through, and then there'll be like a little wipe comes out, zink, and then the hole will shut up, and you go, milkshake, and then a milkshake will come.
We'll all be in the metaverse.
just
Like,
be it.
can't be asked to go to the toilet, so I'm just going to shit in this hole in my bed.
Yeah, that's it. That's going to be it. Yeah, brap, a milkshake. You sit up, you're like, I'm tired now. Lie down, and it's going, and that'll be it. Yeah, and that'll be us.
Yeah.
We'll turn it into Jabba the Hutt. That's what we'll be. 100 years.
Physique
Jabbers.
goals.
Hoverboard Jabbers. Jabba hoverboard.
Yeah, I
Jabba
think,
boards. Jabba boards.
yeah,
Invest in them now.
yeah.
Jabba
If you,
board.
Jabba boards, that
Copyright
could be the
that
future.
name. Copyright that name right now. You're like the bloke who copyrighted like Fox 21st Century in like 1999 and was like, ha. That's why it's called
Really?
they called it 21st Century Fox instead of Fox 21st Century. Because the bloke was like, oh, you can have it for like 20 million.
yeah.
And they were like, cool, we're just going to rearrange the words. It's like, damn it, didn't buy that one. Should have bought all variations.
Yeah, I
you
was gonna
moron.
say, what about 1 million?
Yeah, suddenly back-
back middle. A fiver?
50, just give me the money back.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, I didn't
Yeah,
know
that's
that.
legit. Yeah,
That's crazy.
People do it all the time, buy out domain names of things they think are coming up, knowing that the big companies will pay for them.
Is this why I can't get zenful.com?
Oh, 100%. Any buzzword is gone.
Right, because
Yeah.
we got Zenfold Men, obviously, .com.net. But I searched this the other day and no one's even using it. Nobody's using Zenfold.com.
being held.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you can make them an offer and buy it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, someone's literally done that.
Yeah.
I know sometimes that if they don't, because they've got to refresh it, don't they? Once,
Yeah, you gotta
once every 12 months
yeah.
or something like that. I can't remember what
It
it was.
can be released.
Yeah.
But yeah, it goes
So
back into a pool then.
So maybe keep checking.
Yeah, keep checking
I'd
it.
send an offer through. Just say, listen, I'll give you like 500 quid. They might be like, yeah, whatever, we don't care about it.
I'll send you a t-shirt, bro. How about that? It'll say Zenful on it. It's the best I can offer.
Send you a memory of what you want. So have you got zenfulmen.com?
We've got zenfulmen.com, .net and .co.uk.
it all out.
Yes. Yeah.
So yeah, check those out. And you've got t-shirts on there, have you?
Yeah, it is. Look, like these guys are saying, it is good quality.
I should really show the back
And we
print.
give a 10% donation. You should.
I'll show you the back print at the end. At the end, I'll show you the back print for you.
Every sale we do gives a 10% donation to My Black Dog at the moment. Have you ever heard of this charity?
No, what's this?
Okay, so it was actually at Secret Garden Party last weekend
Yeah.
for this charity. So we did like a joint collaboration stall. We raised £10,000 from at the Gymshark gig where I taught breathwork and cold water therapy. But yeah, it was at Secret Garden Party last week. What these guys do is they have like an online help line essentially, so you can actually online message in. You don't have to pick up the phone and ring,
Right.
which I like because a lot of men obviously they struggle to make that first step.
It's easier to type and talk for some people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a really good.
Especially if it's something that you're not very. It's a touchy subject, isn't it? So yeah, might be able to like verbalise it a little bit easier over a message. That makes a lot of sense.
And it's ran by people who've struggled themselves,
Right.
which I really like.
That's
So-
clever.
Yeah.
You need to have been in the shit to understand it, don't you? You really do. That's an important thing because then you know when somebody says something, you can hear red flag, or trigger. You know, you can see it and you'd be like, but I've been there. And just have somebody else say, oh yeah, I felt that way.
Yeah.
That for most people is enough to be like, I'm normal.
Somebody just to listen to
Yeah.
sometimes you just want somebody to listen to you. And I think a lot of people that are going through a lot of hard times are probably struggling to find these connections where people are really listening to the root cause of their problems. And
Yeah.
it's for somebody to just go, I'm here for you, open up, and then you'll find a
Stigma
cascade.
free.
Yeah.
It is true. Helps a lot. Talking always good.
I think having that idea that the person you're actually talking to, they've been there. It's not because a lot of people, they feel alone when they're in those moments. They feel like
Well, they feel abnormal. That's the
Yeah,
problem.
yeah, feel like
this is
abnormal, like
only
it's-
happening to
yeah,
me.
just
This is-
them.
I'm the only person like this. I'm a freak. I shouldn't exist.
You lose perspective.
Oh, completely.
Like I was really, really low, and when I was at my lowest, you just can't put things into perspective. You feel like
Well, let's dig into that. But first of
Yeah,
all, let's dig into some whiskey and some cigars.
Yeah.
And then we can start. We can
Get
go
to the
through your
nitty-gritty.
life tale of nitty grittiness. People do like a good old story. So we haven't got anything new this week because pretty much everything we had downstairs, Sam had not had. So,
literally.
so we thought we'd go with something that we know that we might be all right with, especially with an ice ball. So we're going with the good old wood. What? No pop? Oh, it's a cheeky squeak.
Ooh.
Ah,
that's to kind of get.
that's not a cheeky pop. That's a cheeky squeak.
Try again.
I'm going to get a bit of an angle on it.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh, it's still disappointing though. Woodford, up
on.
your pop game.
The cork has lost
No
its
cheeky
corkiness.
pop. No cheeky pop.
I feel like the cork is too small.
Yeah, it almost felt like it was. Yeah.
Well, you see, so
Needs
the
a
Woodford
little bit.
this is a bourbon. This is technically a bourbon. Is it? So this one it's similar lines of kind of like Jack Daniels, Black Label, Gentleman Jack kind of here, but this one's a little bit smokier. For a bourbon, I think this is a little bit smoky.
And we're gonna have
having
it
it
straight?
with the art, yeah, bro.
Okay.
But you're not having it straight, you're having it on a rock.
Okay. Straight on the
But the ice will, as it melts, actually bring the smokiness out. So if you like that, that's good. If you don't, you might want to bail on the ice ball a little bit halfway
Really, do you
through.
want me to? Do you want to sip away some of that
Let
excess
Lou,
water?
let Lou pour it for you, and you'll
Yeah, let me pour it for you so
And
you
then-
get a quadruple.
and then you'll have no feet left by the end of the because we
But nice
both
and warm.
some now. I don't know if it's always for Lou, but I get drunk from the feet up, especially when we're like talking and the brain's still firing all the time.
Right.
So my feet are like, oh, our brain's got control of this one. We'll go.
Yeah.
And so the feet have their turn, and off they pop. And then when we try to get up, I'm good until I get up, and then my feet are like, whoa.
Yeah, give it a minute, let it cool down.
Will this actually put hairs on my chest?
It hasn't worked. It hasn't worked for me.
Is it not?
No,
Yeah, Lou is smoother than a seal.
I've got about 14 chest hairs. I have.
I think Lou is
I've got
part
7.
seal.
Yeah.
So
To be fair,
I think you're part seal.
I might be. Yeah, I have got the physique of a seal
In fact,
and,
I'd
and
like
the
to test.
insulative properties of a seal as well.
I'd like to, I'd like to test you in a speedo at a water park.
Yeah, yeah.
And you just be like just flying down, taking out kids in mass.
Yeah, I reckon. I think I probably would, especially grease me up a little bit.
Silky
first.
smooth.
Yeah.
Oh, get a bit of that. It's too slow now to make it funny. God damn it! God damn it!
Go on, let's get the
In my
cigars
head.
out as well.
miss your chance.
Yeah,
Yeah, get these out. So you don't.
Where's
you don't.
where's the corky cork? Where's the cork?
Cookie.
Have you got a table mat for me, boys? My good bareback in it.
Oh, I think
Bareback,
you
and we haven't
you
got a-
should have
I'll
one.
bareback the table.
There's only 2.
No, there should be 3. No, I don't know where that's gone. How rude.
It's all good. I mean, it's your table
form,
on.
Poor guest form, mate. Right, Woodford, I can go down there. So we're on with the Villager cigars. We're on because these are a bit easy going, so there was no point in popping a big boy. For,
I think next week we'll have
Next week we'll do might
big
do
one.
the Juliets. Next week.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
So-
what's a Juliet?
It's a Cuban.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
a big boy.
No. They're quite nice, like 20, 30-minute burners.
Yeah.
Quite easy going, but they're not too expensive. They're probably like 10, 12 pounds a cigar rather than like 30 to 40. So they're quite a decent entry level one, but they're quite well respected. So these little Villager ones, these are actually all the way. These are ones that are from Portugal. So they're square. So these are their what do they call them? I think they call them classic pressed. Yeah, and they call them, what do they call them? 5 charutos. 5 charutos. Don't know. Sounds Mexican. Yeah, so it's square, unlike most cigars, and it's really so you can see one end is just slightly more packed than the other.
Yeah, square end as well. I've
Yeah,
never seen
they're
this.
super, and they're really open these ends as well. They're like big, fat, wide boys, so they
Right.
will let a little bit of leaf off into your mouth every so
God.
often.
I'll be like,
But yeah, a little bit. Yeah, that's completely normal. There you go.
thank you.
So
you got this on
we're
your
going to
trip?
show you how to light it.
Your holiday.
So-
you got this on?
Yeah, so I got a load. I got some for Lou for his birthday, and then I got some for the podcast as well. So we're cigared up for the and because these are quite easy
I'm gonna
going.
taste a bit of this.
If you smell it, well, you're gonna try your whiskey
Okay.
the way you're meant to try it.
Okay.
Then you're gonna have the cigar. Then you're gonna try your whiskey again. And
Because
it'll
will this
change.
make it taste different?
It tastes
It will.
different.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Thank you very much,
Where's
mate.
your end? Yeah. So we've got. You be careful of the old lighter because it's a butane burner. Okay. So
I'm a gas engineer, I should be okay.
Yeah. Oh, of course. Yeah. Sniffing
Take
gas.
the eyebrows out.
That's Sam's word for. He's a gas sniffer. I'm a gas engineer. Love a good old gas. Right. And demonetize.
And off the air.
And we're done. So we're going to light these bad boys up, and we're going to show it. So this is melting quite quick, this, I suppose. So cigar secondary, whiskey first. Right, so whiskey. Little sip. Listeners know this by now. If you've got a whiskey at home, yes, get it out.
Baby
Have a
sip.
little bit. So little sip. Let it... No, you see, swallowed that too fast. Yeah, you burnt your throat.
And that's ripped me off.
Yeah, there you go. Okay,
Yeah,
so this is what you're going to do. Little sip. And let it just roll back.
Almost like wine.
Yeah, a little bit like that. So you let it just roll back to the back of your throat, and then you don't actively swallow it. You kind of just let it go down. That'll make your tongue, all the little screamers that burn when you drink whiskey normally, they will scream, and you get like the heat and just alcohol and heat. But then they'll die off now because you've let it sit there and roll over, and only in a small amount, so you won't burn your throat.
Yeah, they desensitize a little bit. So,
Very quickly.
Yeah,
And
literally the
second-
first sip's always the most.
Yeah.
Which is one where people
Probably
go,
had a
okay,
big,
they
too big
take
of a swig as well.
Big swig, and then they're like, ah, and then like, oh, I don't like that. Well, no, of course you won't. It's like you taking a huge swig of like giant fizzy beer.
Yeah.
You wouldn't like it either.
Yeah.
Hey, do you know what's the, with a beer? I learned the other that when you're meant to take actually quite a big sips of beer. Because when you sip and then put the glass up down, it swills the beer back round, and that swilling motion and aeration actually helps with the flavour profile.
No way.
Yeah.
Do you know Europeans have a big head on it to preserve it going flat?
Yeah.
So do you know they have a much
Traps
bigger
it.
head? You ever been to Belgium? You ever been to Bruges in Belgium?
No, I've never been there.
Where have I been? Bruges. Or is that just the movie?
Maybe Brussels.
Brussels. I
Yeah.
went to Brussels. Yeah.
Bruges is so much better than Brussels. You need to go to
Yeah.
Bruges. It's like a little
Belgium
medieval
just-
town, and they had that film there in Bruges. You ever seen that
Good
film?
movie.
Yeah.
Good movie.
Yeah, and that's
Colin
square.
Farrell.
Yeah, very good film.
It just reminds me because I watched Austin Powers the other day, and Dr. Evil's from Belgium, isn't he?
Oh, is he?
Well, he's
Is
like
he?
he says that like he was found on a Belgian.
Oh, he does.
Yeah, he's found by a Belgian farmer and his 14-year-old wife or something like that.
Those movies are so good.
So the Trappist ales, they go up to like 13.5% their beers.
I love a strong beer.
Few of those are not your. So I'm not a fan of beer, and I try them all the time. It's the aftertaste.
You need to-
There's something about my palate.
You need to come over to the Hop Vault around the corner. They've got so much, like they've got stouts, they've got beers, they've got ales,
I
they've got
don't mind a
everything.
stout. Don't mind a stout.
Yeah, go through.
But do you know what? I don't know what it is. You don't like them.
Nah, I'm not
Too
a fan
heavy.
of stout. Nah.
I can only drink like.
Not really a
small
fan of
amount.
cider either, if I'm honest. I like it like a Thatcher's Haze, but it gives me really bad heartburn.
It's funny
Ciders
how
give me
everything
really bad
affects it,
heartburn.
but it's like, I love it. I hate it. It makes me want to die. Right. So you've had little sip now, please, mate.
Like little sip.
Yeah, we're not at the garden
Let
party
it flow.
anymore.
Gargle it.
No, little sip. Right, don't swallow. Just let it roll back over. You'll feel heat on the side of your tongues. It'll kind of get to the back of your throat, and you'll feel like, oh, just let it down. Let it down. It's like I'm coercing him into something like
Yeah,
That was nice.
nice this time. Okay, so now you've felt that heat's gone. Now, take a little bit of a bigger sip.
Oh, bloody hell, boys. I'm be
Not big, a little bit bigger than it was, and you'll see now the flavour. Now you'll get a bit more of the sweetness on the front of your tongue,
Okay.
and less of the heat.
just crying inside. Just like
You can let it sit in your mouth a little bit before swallowing. It's quite a spicy one, so it'll hit like the roof of your mouth and the top of your tongue. But then that burn, it's going to be smoother going down each time.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
that'll get
better.
smoother and smoother and less fiery and less fiery. the
That's
more you
better,
go.
honestly. Sound.
yeah, sound.
Nailed that one, boys.
Oh yeah, now this is the interesting bit.
So
when you have
now
a
you're going to
cigar.
light the old cigar.
Like I'm on a Big Les show. You ever watch a Big Les show?
Big Lad show.
Les show.
Big Les.
You ever seen Big? Oh, boys.
Is this on normal TV?
No, it's a YouTube.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I was going to
It's
say,
a
I don't watch
YouTube.
normal TV.
You not know where he goes, chocolate Billy end of the cornetto, mate. Oh, you must
No,
know.
bro.
I can't say some of the words because.
Oh, we'll look it up
because I don't-
after.
Yeah.
What's it
I'll show
called?
you after. The Big Les Show. It's an Australian
Les
like
Show.
Australian cartoon. So funny.
cartoon?
There's a Sasquatch. And it's like this typical hillbilly Australian guy, and they're just doing normal Australian things.
Comment
And
on whatever platform you're on if you watch this show. Let us know. Is it worth watching? Should we do it? Right, cigars. We're going to cherry it on the front, so just cook it like this
Yeah.
until you get like a nice even burn going. Then you're going to bring it to your mouth and pull the flame into the cigar.
Fucking hell. Okay. Right.
And that's your lot. Then you're good to go.
So just give it a little bit of a
Toasting.
tinkle.
Yeah, bit of a toast.
Bit of a
So
toast.
straight on, really straight on with it. Yeah, there you go. Right, cool. Now to the mouth.
Yeah.
Bring the flame in, just puff, 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 puff. There you go. Job's a good one. Nice. Look at that cherry. There you are. That's an even burn.
Did you take that back then?
Did you
Nah,
take
I
that
nearly
back?
did.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
so
I
then
went
don't
to.
take it back. If you
Okay.
take the odd one back, it's not going to kill you, but this is heavy in comparison to a cigarette.
Yeah, like obviously just the thickness of that compared
Yeah.
to.
Yeah, there's a lot.
There's gonna be a lot of nicotine in that.
Lot, and
Okay.
it's tobacco wrapped in a tobacco leaf, and it's pure. Unlike a cigarette, which is full of God knows what crap chemicals and stuff.
Yeah.
So this is all about the flavour. So you're gonna let it. You just pull it into. You pull it in. Let it sit, and then just let it ease out whenever you feel like it. Coming out through your nose will make it pepperier and hotter, or straight out the mouth you'll just get like kind of. I don't know how to describe it other than like country flavours.
You know
Kind
what?
of hay, a little bit of
Yeah, I'm getting
earthiness.
that. I'm getting that
Earthiness.
now, the earthy tones, yeah.
I always think they smell like horses.
When I went to like pull the flame in, I just sucked in some of the loose tobacco at the end.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was like, great start that one.
This is the downside of these Villager compressed ones because they're square. They are quite fat at the back and
Yeah.
they do let out a bit of tobacco as you go on, but not a massive amount.
The
Nothing
punch
that
cut
puts you
ones,
off.
they were the best.
Punch cuts are the way forward.
Yeah.
So that's like a small little hole in the back of the cigar. So as the cigar rounds off, it just punches a hole in the back. So it's a really tight. So it's quite a
You get like
quite a tough draw.
Yeah.
But you get zero kind of pull back through from the tobacco.
got
Is that what
with
that
the leaf
mad
anyway.
contraption has for that you've got down
So
there?
that's
So
just
this is
a cutter.
This is a cutter that
I
we
was
would
scared when I said that.
on ones that are sealed. Yeah, and this is for later on when we do a Q&A. If you get questions
oh
wrong,
God.
fingertips. Doesn't that make you feel uneasy just when you put your finger in it like that? Oh, yeah, that could just. Oh, like,
I
isn't
mean,
it weird?
I've got
Isn't it weird
different
that-
thoughts, but yeah.
Isn't it weird that we're adults and we're just allowed to sit here and there's nobody really to stop me just snipping the end of my finger off with that right now? Like, if I just wanted to chop that, there's nobody to
Do it.
stopping us. As adults, there's just nobody watching us to say, like, don't do that, really, most of the time. Most of the time, you could just, like, you ever driving along? This is a weird one. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm completely happy in my life. Nothing wrong with me. You do not need to worry about me, folks at home. But every so often when you're driving along and there's a lorry coming the other way, the empty head, you could just go, I just turn my wheel into that lorry right now if I wanted.
Yeah, it's that
Why
weird.
does
like,
that nip in there? No matter what, you just go, I could just swing into that right now. Boom.
Where does that come from?
Don't know.
Is that the
Is it
male
curiosity
brain
killed the
just being the male brain and having them weird thoughts? Because I'll be like, I've got a very analytical mind. So when I'm at bed, like going to sleep, I'll get the weirdest thoughts. Or like I've solved a problem that didn't need to be solved.
yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Solve the
And
problem
it's-
and it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah, I know what you mean.
Have you ever wondered why bunnies didn't have helicopters?
something random
The
like
new
that.
Bunny 4000.
Yeah.
Yeah, night time's a good time though to let your brain go a bit wild, isn't it? Also, it can go the wrong way though. You start spiraling.
Yeah, and also I think that's when people start to struggle getting to sleep. I don't know if that's something that you've
I
had that issue
really,
with.
yeah, I've always been an insomniac. I've got a feeling you're quite
Yeah,
similar.
So
Yeah,
have you tried white noise though and stuff like that to get you to sleep?
I've tried everything, mate. Like chamomile tea.
Yeah, no, that's shit.
Okay.
That-
What's
but
white
like,
noise?
literally, so you have this like slumber apps or all these apps, and it's someone you can either have just noise on, like a fire burning or wind or stuff like that. So basically, what you're doing is you're raising the ambient noise around you to something you don't mind the sound of, and then you tune into that noise at that decibel. So then anything below that decibel, you will no longer hear. So like outside noise, creaks in the house, stuff like that, become what's the word? Inaudible.
Yeah.
They're not there.
Yeah, you just don't hear them.
But I have them where it tells a story. So I am currently like listening to like Hound of the Baskervilles. But they teach this. Oh yeah, so you're trying to whiskey after the cigar? Tastes different. It might knock some of the smokiness and heat out of it. Depends which way your palate goes. Sometimes you can add to it. For me, it tends to knock it back a bit.
Sorry, interrupted your story. About
Yeah, no.
this.
So there's tangent. We were going to go then. We're getting back to the story. So they read it in a real sultry tone. So they'll be like, you know, Watson turned to Holmes and remarked upon the damage on the cane on the floor, and it's like that kind of tone. And but because you're focused on this
You're good
story,
at that, by the way.
Because you're focused on this story, your brain shuts off because it's only listening to the story, so you no longer spiral in thought. And then you just, because you've got, again, ambient noises raised, so you don't hear the creaks, the road noise outside or whatever's going on, and you'll just drift off. It used to take me an hour to get to sleep minimum. Now I'm gone in 10 minutes.
Really?
Yeah. That also, it comes from meditation as well, which I need to get back into doing.
The
that.
breath work was
Why
the
have
one
you
for me.
fallen off?
Yeah, I haven't
You've
meditated.
fallen off. I
in
know
ages.
you've fallen off because we haven't talked about it.
Yeah, I haven't meditated in a couple of months,
Weeks.
probably. I'd say probably 2 months now.
Yeah.
Have you tried breath work?
Yeah, I've
Yes.
done with my
Well,
breathing and
I
stuff
was
like
gonna
that.
say,
Yeah, I
you
did
know-
that for a while.
You know when you said if you spiral at night, the 5 in, 5 hold, 5 out.
Yeah, square breathing.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, square.
That is
5 in, 5 hold, 5.
15 reps of that. You'll be back on like
Honestly,
Earth
the
plates.
more I think about doing stuff to try to sleep, the less I can sleep. It's almost like the more I want to sleep, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, it's like, the more you become mindful of it, because then you're like, I need to do this to get to sleep, and then you start spiraling about it. I
But
think.
that breath work at night really helps me.
Yeah.
Really, because it activates the endocannabinoids in your head.
Okay, big words. Let's go. What we
Yeah, so obviously endocannabinoids is what you'd get if you normally
Endocannabinoids.
smoke weed.
Cannabinoids.
Yeah, cannabinoids. Sorry, I've probably said it wrong.
got? No, I might be wrong. Yeah.
And so they get activated by doing the breath work. So that's why you get a
Really?
deep state of relaxation after. Yeah.
It's also the fact that we're clearing our lungs of, a lot of us are shallow breathers. We don't utilize, we only use the top third of our lungs, a lot of people.
Yeah.
So learning to use the full length and breadth of the inhale and really clear out and get that oxygen deep into the base of the lungs is again going to really help and give you a better clarity, because you're filling your body full of oxygen and ridding it full of that old carbon dioxide that's been sat in there.
It removes the toxins from the lymphatic system. Is the other thing that happens by doing the breath work.
Which
obviously.
again, massage is great for as well. So if you're not getting that done and you're quite tight from work and everything, these all work in symbiosis.
That's why I'm a yoga boy now. I
Yeah,
love
you were
my
saying.
yoga,
So you're
yeah.
saying you used to be a little bit bigger. You're a bit more weights
Yeah,
orientated.
I mean, I say that. I probably say
Stone,
that
though.
for
You
my
said
ego.
stone.
Yeah.
No,
No, it was.
14 pounds is not small.
Yeah, when I worked at a gym as a personal trainer up until the age of 19. And so obviously I was in the gym all the time. I was trying to be big, but I was
Yeah.
always getting injuries, really bad shoulder injuries, neck injuries. I think I lifted too heavy when I was
Most
younger
of us.
as well.
Dude, I went to the gym the other day and I used to incline press like 52 kilogram dumbbells. Bro, I don't even know if I can pick those bitches up anymore. Never mind press them. How I was doing that, it was like
Wow.
willpower alone. There's no way that thing was going up as it should. Like, there's just no
it's
freaking
just
way. Just, it was pure tendon elastics, willpower, and my mate training with me going, you can do this.
Yeah.
Like, just being
Pure ego,
Yeah.
just driving through.
100%. Just
Your body's just disintegrating
Yeah.
underneath it.
Oh, 100%, because look, I tore my shoulder to pieces over time.
Yeah.
So I look at these things now, it's like, how bad was I lifting that to move that weight? Because I'm arguably 10 kilos heavier now than back then.
Well, when was
Of
you in the
muscle.
gym as well? When did you start lifting?
At like 15.
Yeah, I
maybe,
was the same, like 4, which
14,
apparently is
15.
too young to start lifting, right?
I think
Like,
powerlifting. Two
Okay.
years up powerlifting.
Yeah, but I was
Not
that
just
guy,
weight
I was that
training.
15-year-old trying to deadlift as much as he could.
Yeah,
you know what
no,
I
I
mean?
wasn't. I was on the pec deck.
Oh,
Yeah. It'd be like pec deck, treadmill, bicep.
Bicep.
I like to do my biceps.
Because my biceps.
My barcep machine coming out soon. So yeah, be barbell, biceps, chest flies, treadmill,
Lex's
and
bicep
then just
workout.
repeat. Yeah, just repeat machine, treadmill, machine, treadmill.
That's
That was what
hilarious.
gym was.
Biceps. Do you remember when you was a kid? Did you ever do that thing where you go, if you say beer can, it sounds like bacon in Jamaican?
Yeah.
Beer
Pass
can.
me the beer can.
Oh
You
yeah.
never done that? Beer can.
Beer can.
And it doesn't matter what accent you say it in.
Alright, I'm fucking Scottish. Beer can.
It sounds like a really husky Jamaican man. You never heard that before, Lex?
No. Beer can. That's really good.
Yeah. Beer can.
Do you have to? You know, I have to have trigger words to get me into accents.
What, like,
You're right.
Yeah,
You're right,
me
boy.
too.
I have to. I can't just go in with like
To
saying,
get into the
I couldn't
flow
say
of
like
it.
architecture in Scottish out of nowhere.
Architecture.
I'd have to go, you're right, boy, architecture. You know, I couldn't just go straight in. I need the trigger. Yeah, weird. I once spent an entire day walking around my house as a kid speaking in Scottish for no reason. To the point where my mum asked my best mate's parents, I heard her quietly asking him when she came to pick me up from his house one time, Viv, does John ever walk around the house just talking to himself in other accents or voices? And Biv was like, yeah, all the time. She's like, oh, good, I thought Alexa was going crazy.
Yeah.
She genuinely thought I was losing my mind. 'Cause I was walking around going, Scott FM, coming to you live. Just walking around recording my own voice.
You've got that accent on lock though.
But it's pure cartoon Scottish. It's the only thing. I can't do like regional.
Yeah.
I'm just like one. I'm that kilt wearing ginger bagpipe player.
Yeah.
You're right.
When I used to work up in Scotland, sometimes me and my mate Chris, we'd be there all week and we'd just be talking to each other in a Scottish accent. We just got to make sure we remember not to do it to actual Scottish people, just thinking we're taking the piss. And we're not. We're just doing it because we were just being a fucking idiot. Yeah. Oh, we've blacked out. When did that happen?
We got carried away and had a blackout.
Yeah.
We're back
Doing
in the room.
Scottish accents. aren't
Scottish.
we?
We're talking about being children and walking around with Scottish. How long have we done this? What's the sound time today? 35 minutes. Oh shit balls! That was a big ass blackout, boy.
You got ash all over your mic.
I've got ash over everything in that time. It's just everything's gone to hell. After I jinxed it because at the beginning I was like, yeah, we don't have any gremlins
problems
anymore. Just the usual 30-minute time limit, which we're totally in control of.
We need a fucking
Immediately.
We need a little alarm system.
We do. Well, what we need to do is
That just needs to flash up
big
like.
clock.
what we
on the
need
wall.
is magic lantern to crack that camera so that we can just get rid of the stupid timer.
Yeah.
Or somebody to sell like a stupid external screen for less than £300 and I'll just buy one.
Very expensive.
Dude, they're so unnecessarily expensive.
Yeah.
Well, it's just an external screen, but because you need an external screen that it records to, and then it's like, oh, you're not recording to the camera anymore. Okay, cool, the laws don't apply.
What?
Yeah, no, to be fair to them, right, they make it a 30-minute time limit because it makes it have less tax. So they're kind of doing you a favour because it's then still a camera, not a video camera.
Okay.
But yeah, if you put an external screen on where it records to an external item, it's no longer recording on the camera, so then it can just run.
Okay.
So that's the trick. But it's like a £400 expense to do that, which is kind of unnecessary and I don't really need it for anything else.
And cameras are expensive as it
You
is.
buy a
aren't they?
scooter for that and race it around. Well, that's how I do
I
things.
learnt to ride a scooter. So I know you boys are big bike fans.
Well,
Hey,
I'm-
he's just
Oh,
done his
you
theory
got
test.
him to get a bike.
Yeah.
Bullied him.
Yeah.
Have we told the story about how you got your bike?
yeah, we have.
I think we have.
Yeah, we've already
We
said.
were basically sat in the kitchen with me and my mate Mark, and we were like, Lou, what bike would you want? He went, I kind of like the bikes you guys got. And then Mark was immediately on Facebook Marketplace. He was like, is that really, really, Lou? What about this one? Like literally within a minute of him saying, I'd pause because we all thought you wanted like a chopper or something.
Yeah, I was just. You basically.
That's the one
this-
where your hands are up here.
I was like, this is the style I like, but I know fucking nothing about bikes, so I'm just going to take your guys' opinion. You let me know what you think's good. And then you're both like, look, we've got these Honda CBR 600s, is that right?
Yeah.
I've got one, Mark's got one. We've taken them apart and put them back together a million times, so we know everything. We know them like
We've got
the back of our
loads
hand.
of
We've got loads of
spares.
spare parts. It'd be a good one because I was also I don't want to spend a load of money on a bike that I might drop or I might fuck up because it's my first bike.
Yeah.
So it's kind of something cheap and cheerful that I can properly like learn in really. And so they were like, yeah, we can get one for like under $1,000. So I was like, oh, sound.
No, don't give people false hope. No, we said about 2.
I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, 2.
Yeah.
You can get it for 2.
Yeah.
Well, we said under 2. We'll probably get what you want for under 2.
Yeah.
Which for the quality of the bike that it is cheap. Like
So, do you know what a Honda Scoopy is?
a Scoopy.
Yeah, you will know. So I've just come back from Bali, as you know. So I learnt to ride a bike in Bali. Well, I say a bike.
I think it might be a
moped.
fake Honda that you're on about.
I promise
They
you,
do
they're
have-
everywhere. They're everywhere.
Yeah,
in
they're
there.
fake Hondas. In
Is that what
Bali.
it is?
I'm pretty sure they're fake Hondas. Yeah.
Do you know what?
Google it. Who's
Absolutely
Googling?
rapid.
Who's Googleable? Can you Google?
Honda Scoopy.
No, let's
Honda
get back
Sco-
to-
I promise you now.
Lou's story of before, because people will be like, "What the hell happened with Lou's bike?" So we were in the kitchen literally, and Mark brought up this bike on Facebook, and he showed it to Lou. What do you think of that colours? And Lou went, "Yeah, I kind of like that." And as he did it, he showed it to me, and it was like original colours, but this thing looked in really good nick. Like it had
Yeah.
full Honda service history and stuff like that, which is rare.
Honda
Honda-
Scoopy.
Is that actually a thing?
I told you,
Scoopy.
man. Bro, there's
Scoopy.
There's thousands of these in Bali.
That's a scooter.
Yeah, it's a scoot.
Oh, I thought you were on like a geared one. Like a
No,
125.
no, you
Because they've got like 125s out there that have a Honda symbol on them, but it's like a fake. It's like got an extra feather on it or something.
Yeah.
Right, and it's,
My friend Mitch Pearson, big up, he had one of them scramblers. So
Yeah.
he had like a proper scrambler. Most people are driving like
Quite
NMAXs. Do you know- Is NMAX a thing over here? I've got a feeling all the bikes and scooters over
If
there
they're
are
just
completely
little
different.
scooter thing. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's like when you get I don't know if have you been to Australia?
Yeah.
So everyone's driving like
Utes.
Hyundais, and it's all like Japanese, Chinese.
It's like a flatbed.
You don't
over
see
there that everyone drives.
BMWs or like Volkswagens.
There's a
or-
flatbed in Australia. I think they call it the Ute.
Yeah, it's
And it
a
looks
van.
sick.
It's like a
and I'm
pickup.
like, it drove past, and I was like with Nathan. And I was like, whoa, look at that, and went, what, the Ute? And to them, it's like a freaking white van man thing over there. But some people
They all drive Utes.
They do them up a bit. Some people,
Yeah.
But to me, it looked awesome. It was this flatbed, like cool thing going quite low. It was like just freaking like a van, mate, over here. I was like, oh, dude, over in England, that'd be savage.
They all drive them, so it's like
Yeah,
a pickup
yeah,
truck
loads.
with like, and they cover it.
Yes.
It's like shutters.
Yeah.
yeah.
I just looked at it, I thought that'd be wicked for adventuring around in. He's like, yes, go everywhere here, mate. I was like, ah.
Oh, you should have seen what I was driving in. You ever go to Bundaberg? So I had to do like 3 months
Sounds like a
farm
place
work.
that's not.
It's where they
that's
did a
fully
van.
made
That's
up.
a fake
It's
place,
fully
yeah.
made up.
You know, Bundaberg,
Yeah,
around the
they
corner
do
from
it. Are
Wonderwork.
we back to your story as kids making up words? You mean the Bandawanga?
When I've just
He's
come back
back,
from holiday.
Stan.
He's back.
Lee Evans. He's in there.
Lee Evans. What happened to Lee Evans?
I think he just sweated himself to death.
Yeah, he did. He just finally shriveled up.
He's now just a puddle on the floor.
Yeah, I think he
Such
just
a
had enough of
sweaty
it.
guy.
I think he just had enough
Did he
of it,
just
didn't
stop?
he?
He was
Yeah.
high energy.
He was still
though,
touring a couple of years ago, wasn't he? And then it just kind of.
I feel like he's
Yeah.
not funny now, though. Like,
Yeah, that comment.
Sorry, Lee, if
It's
you're
not-
watching.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
Well, now we're much
I wish
more.
Lee Evans was
Imagine.
watching. If you are watching Lee Evans,
you are
this is not
watching-
going to happen. But if you are watching, 100% come on, because I used to fucking love Lee Evans. He was
still
like,
love him.
he
I
was
still
like my
watch-
favourite stand-up.
The Bohemian Rhapsody. Guys,
Yeah.
just legendary.
Yeah, I don't think there's ever been a stand-up comedian that works as hard as Lee Evans.
The
Like,
funniest joke that he told me that still I remember to this day is the one where he's on about his wife trying to start the car when he's like the car's broken down, something he's having to push start the car, and he's like, and he's just in the car. Come on! And then she comes in the car, stuffing him in the car, and it's like, what's happened is it was making like a burning sound. It's like, was the handbrake off? Was the handbrake off? What's that bit then? What's that? Something like that. And she's basically been driving the handbrake on. But then it's like, he doesn't always break down. And he gets out and he says, you get out as a man, don't you? She gets in there. And she's like, right, you're ready to push. You're going to put it in neutral. Right, you're gonna get there. You're going to get it into gear. You're going to keep your foot on the clutch. I'm going to start pushing. When I shout go, you're going to clutch up and you're going to jump start it. Yeah! Right, so you get to the back of the car. Right. Are you ready? Yeah! Right. I'm going to start pushing now. You good to go? Yeah! And then nothing moves. Pushing, like, oh, bloody hell, this house. Push. You're taking the bloody handbrake off. You're like, no!
Do you remember his song that he used to sing at the end? And it went like, I think I remember it. He goes, there was a young man from Gosham who took out his bollocks to wash him. His wife said, Jack, if you don't put a bag, I'm going to stand on the bastards and squash him. Yes.
I do remember that.
Oh,
He got a
man.
little bit like, kind of almost biblical at the end of his stuff, though, didn't he? Have full choirs come on and he'd do a real serious song on the piano.
Yeah.
Didn't like that.
yeah, it went a bit, I don't
Because
know.
he was so wacky.
Yeah.
I get it. You're a talent. You've got that talent. But it was just, it finished too, like,
Yeah, it wasn't the way I would have
Yeah.
wanted it to tail off, I suppose.
it was just so, like, not on a parallel to what he'd just done. It's so
He went through some towels, didn't he, on set? Jesus
He went through
Christ.
suits.
Yeah, he did, didn't he? He used to
Yeah,
change
change
his
his
suits
suit.
halfway, yeah.
Sweating through. Right? Yeah, like you wear a shirt and you can sweat through a shirt a little bit.
Yeah.
Imagine sweating through the shirt and then the fucking blazer though. Like I've never seen anyone else do that other than Lee Evans. Like
He
sweat through
definitely didn't
blazers.
make it through the 37-degree British heat, did he? That's when he went. That's why we don't see him anymore. He just turned into a dried prune.
Yeah,
It was like a toad out of water.
yeah,
I found a toad the other day in the garage.
yeah.
Yeah, I brought it in and I thought my missus might be like, oh. No, she ran. As this toad like lurched after as well. And I had it by the leg, so it was like,
Some people are really scared of toads.
weird. They're lovely little things. They don't bite.
Yeah.
They don't hurt you. You can pick
They're not
them up.
dangerous,
they
are
don't
they?
care. You can kind of like hold them like mid-body like this, so they just go like, oh crap.
You can even hold them in your hand and they seem quite
they'll
happy sometimes.
Yeah, they'll sit for a little bit. And
They
then
might just fuck off.
Then
yeah.
they launch themselves with zero respect for their own safety.
Yeah.
Like, there's no concept of height
Like
whatsoever.
bungee jumping
They just
from the height of your hand.
It's like, which makes me think that every jump they do is like, ma. Oh, this is all right.
Yeah.
Oh, no, not good enough though. Ma. Oh. Like they've got no purpose in their hop.
Yeah.
Like, where are you going? Don't know. Ma.
See what's going to happen.
And they just end somewhere and like, this will do.
Yeah.
And
You know,
that's it. That's how they
frogs
live.
can scream, like actually scream, like a
No.
human scream.
I'm sorry, but no.
Google.
Yeah, like at my grandparents where I was brought up, so they had like a pond, one for fish and one for like frogs. And if a cat or something got a frog, it screams and it sounds like literally like a person screaming. It's ridiculously loud. Honestly, I can't believe you've never heard a frog scream.
I don't even want to hear a frog scream.
I don't even know what to imagine right now. Have you ever heard a koala bear scream?
No.
Now that is scary.
You know, koala bears are actually quite pissy little buggers. And the only reason that they're quite chill most of the time is because they're high as shit off the eucalyptus leaves.
Yeah.
They get so high off those eucalyptus leaves that they will just sometimes fall out of trees because they're too stoned.
Okay, I don't know what any of these frogs are going to sound like because these are all like weird fucking monster frogs.
That's a toad. That's not a frog.
Yeah, I've typed in frog scream, but I don't know what any of these are going to actually sound like.
Right, go on then.
Screaming frog.
Put it up to the mic. Put it to the mic.
No.
What the hell?
Yeah.
Is that because there's a cat near
There's
it?
a cat nearby. It went to touch it.
Is that not the cat scream?
Oh my God,
way,
look at that.
man.
Yeah.
So the cat
That's
is
crazy.
just pouring at this, not hurting it.
Yeah,
It's
just
just like
literally
the cat
patting.
wasn't even like going to attack it. It's just
Even
like, you know,
the
when
cat's
the
like, what the
cat's like
fuck?
just touching it like it's playing with the wall. That's the frog.
Yeah, frog
Is
scream.
it a certain?
No,
is it
no,
called
you
the
need to
screaming
Google.
frog?
No, no.
A
That's-
koala bear scream, because this shit is off the charts, man. Like, am I swearing too much?
No, you're good now. We're past 3 minutes.
Okay, so
How the hell do you spell koala?
Koala.
Yeah, koala.
koala, bro, he's a savage.
Just their fucking
Where did you find
dopey
out?
ass faces.
What did you do
like-
to a koala to find this out?
Well, do you know that's where chlamydia come from? I swear to
Yes,
God.
they carry it. What? What's she doing
You
to
gonna do
it?
it again?
Bro,
Holy
I
crap!
told you, man, they got a scream.
What's the
on
face
them.
like? Show us the face when it's doing it.
Bro. Oh my
The
God.
koala is just slowly and calmly looking around on the video and just randomly just going, "Ah!" for no apparent reason. That's got to be some kind of like, this is my tree.
Yeah.
This is my eucalyptus. This is my crop. Stay the hell away from my high.
Yeah, it's not a threat. That's
Yeah.
literally just screaming. as
Or
some
it
kind
could
of
be like, bro,
Yeah.
this is some strong shit.
Yeah.
Oh my
Get
God.
your ass over here.
Okay, Australian accent not as good as your Scottish
Oh,
accent.
no, that wasn't my
Oh,
Aussie.
okay.
My Aussie is, g'day, mate. That's really, really like full on. Hang on, I have to get into it. Aussie.
Crikey.
Crikey, Charlie. Charlie bit me. I was out in the outback, and a bloody koala came along, and high as shit on eucalyptus.
Bloody
right?
screaming at me.
Screamed
It's
at me,
getting
and I swear to God, he went, hi, shit. Bloody good night that was, mate.
Oh my God, I can't
Needs
believe I'm
more
seeing the
garlic.
Big Les show, man. You need to watch it.
Big Les show.
What you doing to beat? That's what he said. It's that squad. He goes, "What you doing to beat?"
Talking to me? Is it an Aussie thing?
Yeah, real Aussie. It's actually made on paint. Yeah, they actually made every single scene of it on paint and put it
Old
together.
school paint.
Yeah, some lads from like university made it.
What?
It's really good.
Gotta
It is
love
really
it.
good.
That was what they put their time in university to.
Yeah, they completely failed, but then they
You know,
just made
one of the
that
biggest
show.
things at uni for us that would detract us from doing any work whatsoever was like stickmen games.
Oh wow.
They
Remember the
are
archery
so
one?
elaborate. There's one where like you're in the Matrix shooting and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
It's brilliant.
Do you remember
I
like
found
the
it at the end.
impossible quiz? Do you remember that?
What was that?
It was like a game where every answer wasn't a straightforward answer, and you'd be stuck on a screen for ages trying to figure out how to get past it. And if you got it wrong, you'd go all the way back to the beginning. So you'd have like everybody in the classroom all trying to like figure it out. It was fucking hard. You know, like,
There was that and something. What was it? Gore.com or something. Do you remember that
it was
one?
Gore.com,
There was
yeah.
Gore.com. Something happened. I can't remember the image because my brain has saved me from remembering what it was. But you know when you just click next, there was like a stream of images, wasn't there?
Yeah.
And you wouldn't know what was coming next.
Yeah.
And I remember there were three of us around the computer, and we're all on those like crappy wheelie chairs that you had at uni. And we clicked next on this thing in the middle of this computer lab, and this screen came up. And in unison, all three of us just pushed off the desk and jettisoned across the room away from the computer. Yeah. But in a bird's eye view, it would look like some synchronized chair dance. All of us went, nope! and all, like, and span away from the screen in unison.
Yeah.
And it was like, get back to the screen and just hitting keys to like make it change,
Disappear, yeah.
make
Get
it
it
go
off.
away. I can't remember what it was for the life of me, but I just remember that vividly. And just because we were like, no, and you know when you're laughing so hard, but also like trying,
Horrendous.
it was the worst thing you've ever seen. Never need to see that again.
There was a thing we used to do at school. If somebody would walk away from their computer, because obviously you've got the moderators that are like watching what's on your screens, and they're like, there was a cupboard where they all live. They were just stunk of coffee because they're just watching everyone's screens.
God, what a job,
And so whenever anyone would get up, walk away from their screen, there was this website. I can't remember what it was, but it was just on loop. This guy tied up, getting kicked naked, getting kicked in the balls by a woman, but it was just on loop. So he was literally just there again, like, what? Like full pelt, just kicked in the bollocks. And we'd put that on their screen, and then we'd turn the screen off, so it was like on loop, so the moderators could see it just playing over and over again. So somebody would come back and be like, "Oh, my screen's up," and then they'd be there waiting for their screen. You know, when it like takes a few seconds, and then they're like, fuck. But one time, I remember this chap Grant. We did it to him, and the teacher was right behind him, and he turned his screen on, and he was waiting for it to load up, and he literally grabbed his screen and just slammed it down.
An entire computer monitor.
Yeah, like a monitor. Yeah, literally, yeah, it just went.
Nope.
Oh my God, the things you used to do.
Dude, that's just what made life fun, though,
Yeah.
isn't it? Like, somebody asked me the other day, I can't remember who it was, and it was like, would you recommend going to university? And I was like, in a heartbeat. Not for the education, but for the
Life experience.
It's the most fun, because I remember saying, 100%. They were like, oh, really? I went, yeah. Funnest time I've ever had. They went, no, not for that reason. I was like, yes, for that reason. If only for that reason.
Yeah.
You will come back a different human being. Like, I definitely came back more... I don't know, evolve's the wrong word. But I was definitely more I was more well-rounded, more worldly. You know, I'd experienced things from other people's perspectives much more. You have to fend for yourself. You learn to cook. You learn to clean after the first year because you don't want to live like a bum anymore.
Similar like life experiences to go travelling, pushing yourself out your comfort zone, going to a city you don't know. I mean, I didn't go to uni, but I was one of them guys that just used to potter to all my friends' unis. You know what I mean?
Oh, you were the dude.
Yeah,
You
I
were
was
the cool
that
guy
guy.
who just rocked up and was like, bro, I got beers and weed.
Yeah. And I had money because I worked.
Yeah.
And I'd turn up and I'd be like, oh, buy some booze.
Yeah. Or you broke, mate. And you're just like, yeah, sound.
You see this? Brand name SpaghettiOs.
Yeah.
Whoa. Hot noodle life.
Yeah. Should we actually talk about...
Let's delve into Sam's life now.
Yeah, let's go into it.
Time doing nonsense.
You said that the business started up, it's a lockdown, baby, and you said obviously...
Well, no, I think there's a bit more of a deeper, darker point, wasn't there?
There is
Because
actually...
the point of your whole thing isn't the fact you came through this.
Yeah, so it actually all started... I lived in Australia for 2 years. I haven't spoke about Australia
From
enough.
what age?
I moved there when I was 22. No,
On your own?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, one-way flight. Went out there when I was 20, come back when I was 22. And I come back for my dad's wedding. And I come back and coronavirus hit. So I went straight into lockdown. So I went from living like my best life in Australia to getting stuck in my mum's council estate in Droitwich. So you can imagine the contrast.
Yeah.
And it was around that time I started like obviously feeling really down. So I started like watching random YouTube videos. And this guy called Naval Ravikant. You ever heard of a guy called Naval? Amazing guy. So he was a guy that kind of brought me into meditation. I'd never thought about any kind of mindfulness exercises before. And he explained meditation to me in a really, really good way. So he explains it like having unread emails. So say if you've got like 100 unread emails on your phone, you're not going to go through them. You just kind of leave them as they are. And he said, this is the same as like unresolved thoughts in your mind. So things that have been bothering you over time, they build up in your mind and you kind of push them into your subconscious. Don't really think about it. When you meditate, these thoughts pop up. So you get this thought pop up and then obviously you have to redirect your attention to your breath or let it pass through, whatever. And he said, one by one, you're going through these unresolved thoughts like you were going through your emails until one day you get to the magic number 0 and that's when you're meant to find like ultimate presence and calm down
Zen.
what I like to call the monkey mind when it's my mind's all over the place.
Have you read The Chimp Paradox?
No, but I've been recommended it.
Yeah.
It's good. I'm reading a book at the moment called Letting Go by David Hawkins.
All right,
I think really good book. Really recommend that. So anyway, I found mindfulness through Naval, and through a meditation, I kind of had this idea of, do you know what? I want to like kind of start a platform for men that kind of bring men together. but also incorporate streetwear into it, because I've always been into streetwear. But this was just a seed of thought at the time. Lockdowns went on, kind of got worse, got into a bit of a toxic relationship.
How were you in the first lockdown?
First lockdown was like a
Remember,
holiday.
first lockdown was sun. We were outside.
Yeah,
we got
holiday.
tans.
Yeah.
You know, we were all
Holiday
working out with
vibes.
broomsticks.
And I think everyone was just like, oh, it's just like,
It's all right.
yeah, it's a bit of a
one
novelty.
time.
Yeah, we'll be all right.
Drinking
We'll be
in
out
my
of it.
garden, having barbecues
Yeah.
every day, training in the daytime, and then in the night time I'd just be chilling.
Yeah.
Um,
And then that second one hit.
that second
Dark
one
by
hit
4
hard,
o'clock,
man.
rainy, grey.
Oof.
That I fell hard in that one. That like, but subtly hard.
Mm.
You know, when you sit back, you realise you catch yourself one day being like,
Yeah.
oh, I feel like shit.
Yeah. And that's when depression hit hard for me.
Yeah.
So I got really, really low. Also because of the situation I was in at the time.
Yeah.
And
So your toxic relationship.
Yeah, and
second
not just on
lockdown.
her side, you know, it takes two to make a toxic relationship. But after, like, my family had to kind of intervene. It got to a point where it was really,
Talk
really
about
bad.
that because a lot of people, we've had conversations about this in the past about relationships. A lot of people think that the normality of relationship is bickering, disagreements, and compromising all the time, and then falling out at least once every 2 weeks to then make up again. And that's normality for most people until you realise and you're told by somebody, no, motherfucker, there's a billion people in the world. You can find somebody that none of that will happen with.
Exactly.
And that's what a lot of people don't understand. So what was it that was toxic about yours? What were you doing? What were your triggers and stuff?
There was a lot of bad habits on both of our sides that I was actually, through meditation, I feel trying to get away from. And I think through meditating, I become more aware of the toxic thought patterns I was having. So a lot of it was revolved around, you know, we'd want to just get wrecked all the time and do what a lot of UK lads want to do, you know, certain drugs and stuff. We just go out partying. And I actually realised, like, I've had enough of this. Like, I pretty much drank every day in Australia for 2 years.
Really?
So I've become really dependent on alcohol. You
Became part of your
typical
mechanism.
UK lad. I've actually got a blog called From Beers to Buddha, which explains a lot of me drinking down the park when I was like 14. How shows like Skins and Shameless kind of normalised this.
Yeah, it did.
Growing up, because you just think, like,
Loser.
this is the thing to do in the UK.
Tumblr when he's younger days. Yeah.
Yeah, I first smoked weed in primary school. Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Wow.
And drank pretty consistently from probably 11.
Wow.
Yeah, mate.
Yeah, thereabouts.
insane.
Yeah, because all my mates were older than me.
Yeah.
When I lived with my mom, all the kids were like a good few years older, so they were like 14, 15, 16, so like end of school where they've kind of occasionally able to get alcohol. And my mom was pretty relaxed as well, so she was like, I'd rather like I'll get at you and I know that you're like
Yeah,
you do
yeah.
it in a rock.
Or you had that one
better
friend with a
environment.
beard who you'd say to the shop and be like, yeah, go on, mate.
The shops
chance
nearby,
it.
they didn't care as well. They'd
When
serve
I
us.
explained this to, when I was travelling, explain this to French, German lads, like, what? You was drinking down the park at like, probably similar, like 12, 13, so I was also hung around with older people. And they're just like, what, that's crazy. Like the UK, we drink so young. And anyway, that's
in a negative way. though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
because they
binge
drink
drinking.
young in Italy and Spain, but it's in a very, very different way.
And in France, right? They had like
Yeah,
wine
sorry,
and a
France.
meal
Yeah,
when they're really young.
Yeah. France and Spain. When I went there the other week on the bike tour to see my sister in Bordeaux, I was saying we were out till 2 a.m. because we didn't
Love
realise
Bordeaux,
it.
by the way.
We were just sat in this square. There was 100 odd people there. Everyone just tiddling away on their drinks. Not one loud, obnoxious person. Not one. I didn't see a single kerfuffle when I was there. People got drunk. Don't get me wrong, but they were no bother anyway.
Respectful.
We had
Yeah.
a king of binge
There was
drinking.
nobody smashing shots.
Yeah.
There was just nobody doing that. People were sitting and enjoying what
We
they
used
were
to play
drinking.
Dizzy Dinosaurs. You ever used to play that?
No,
So we'd have a
like-
3 litre of cider and we'd spin around whilst drinking.
Hang on. Was it White Lightning?
Yes. Yeah. Of course it was. Of course it was. Oh man.
Like £2.50 for 3 litres or something horrendous.
Yeah. So I think when I started meditating, I become a lot more aware of, you know, I'm drinking for a reason here. I'm drinking to
Escapism.
cover my anxiety, to handle my stress. So it actually got a little bit worse before it got better because I was aware of it,
Yes.
if that
yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah, 100%. I think a lot of people find that when
Yeah.
when they actually become more mindful, they all of a sudden like a lot of people are fucking depressed, but they're not self-aware enough to understand what's going on. They're just masking it with drugs or alcohol or food or whatever it'd be. And then when you actually start to dig a little bit deeper and identify that you do have some problems, that can be not. It's a good thing because you're moving in the right direction. But a lot of people, they're gonna spiral because they're like, oh fuck, I'm depressed, I've got anxiety, and then they associate because they probably had negative thoughts about like they're like, oh. They've got like an idea in their head of what depression is, and that wasn't them. And then they're like, "Oh no, I've got that thing," and it's almost it's like enabling them because then it makes it into a much.
You're aware of the negativity that's surrounding your
and
life.
you're looking for it, and then you're like, "Oh, that's some anxiety."
That's
there.
actually a step to progress,
Yeah,
you
it
know,
is.
because you're noticing that something isn't quite right. And
I never did the drinking to cover stuff thing. I don't know why. I was never very good with alcohol. Couldn't hold it well. I'd go from like happy to vomit. So, like, when you guys did the drinking, did you feel better when you were drunk? Like, is that why you did it?
100% at
Yeah.
the time, kind of. Anyway, when
Did it
you're young,
elevate you?
For
or
me,
did
I
it
just
numb
didn't-
you. What was
it just numbed
it's
me.
numbed.
It's the
It's a
numbing.
numbing.
Yeah, I wouldn't go as far as saying I felt better. It was just I felt different. It was a way of me controlling my state, and it just like with alcohol you lose your inhibitions, and that's where all of the guilt or the stress or the anxiety or like all these feelings that you have that are going to be negative. You don't give a fuck about them. You don't,
Maladaptive
you're like,
coping mechanism.
Yeah,
they call
exactly.
it,
Yeah.
isn't it?
So it's not really you're not necessarily feeling better. You just don't give a shit.
Yeah, 100%.
This, ironically, as we're sat here with drinks.
But
But here's the thing. Why we drink them neat? Because we chose to take a drink and learn about it and start to enjoy it for what it is, rather than to
That's
enjoy
culture.
the feeling
That
of
is
being
culture.
drunk. Exactly. So now you'll see you've had this drink here in front of you, and it's like a triple maybe that Lou poured you. We don't know. Lou has girthy drinks. But you've sat sipping away on that drink, realising the flavour changes, paying attention to the drink. You've not downed it. You've not smashed it. And gone,
mindful drinking.
Exactly. So you're drinking it for the enjoyment of the flavour and things, rather than the fact that the end result of it intoxicating you. So by learning about drink, you can actually drink with a more positive attitude, and it's less of about the numbing and more about the enjoyment. And I think that's what happens more in France, Spain. Because they're introduced to it younger alongside food and how it brings the flavour out in the food.
And that's what we don't do here.
We don't do any of
we're
that.
like, we're going to sneak away from our parents or sneak away from the...
Yeah, and also
go
because
like
you're given a
but
bright blue wicked.
but
Yeah,
also-
mate, drink, and it's a luminous thing in a bottle.
Yeah.
And, but growing up, your parents always tell them how they did it when they were kids, and how that's what they did, and it's like it was almost glorified.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it? And
a
like
way.
you said, things like
Yeah.
Shameless, like you rewatch Shameless because I started watching because I felt like part of my fucking childhood was basically Shameless.
Yeah.
And
Skins as well
stuff
for
like
me,
that.
like with Cook. Like I remember watching Cook and just being like, oh, do you know, he's so cool. And you go out and you try and live up to these stereotypes in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, so that
Where were we
happened.
at?
I was
Right,
meditating, getting aware of my negative thoughts.
You were in a toxic relationship, though. We're on about triggers in your relationship. So what was it that was toxic? And then what was it that you realised, what was the point where you're like, oh, this is a toxic behaviour mechanism that we've got going on here?
No,
What-
honestly, like when I say toxic, like it was fucked.
In-
like screaming, like
Yeah, which is
fight.
This
yeah,
is common, though, bro.
Yeah.
This is common.
I'm talking in the middle of town. Like
Oh,
So
yeah.
when you lose all concept of
it was
society,
like, and
proper making a spectacle. Like,
I'd never been like, I'd never take stuff like that before. I've always been quite a strong character, but got to the point where I was just enjoying somebody talking to me like shit. And it was almost like I was becoming addicted to that pain. Yeah,
'Cause
I
it
was in a
was
really bad
attention.
state of mind. Yeah, in a way. And it was like I'd almost chase after that. And it got to the point, and I've never said this before live on air. I have to friends, but I tried to take my own life. Like,
Really?
yeah, and that when that relationship ended, I just didn't want to be here anymore. And it got to the point
Because
where
it was a culmination of just negativity.
yeah, and I just thought like I can never get out of this downward spiral. And we spoke earlier about losing perception. That
Yeah.
was me. I was just like, do you know what? I'm
a bubble.
causing more harm to the people around me, and I just don't want to do it anymore. Obviously, not thinking about if I went, I'm gonna leave a big hole in all of their lives.
Yeah.
At the time, you're thinking I need to go to actually stop causing pain. So the family intervened, and that is when I realised, boom, something needs to change. So that's when I sat down, got to work, literally was just reading. I remember coming across the Wim Hof method, which for me was a lifesaver. Yeah. Having that one thing to focus on every day, just getting in a cold shower, do your breath work. It'd relieve my stress, release the oxidative stress, and the cold.
Think about it.
Boost your dopamine.
But the opposite direction.
Yeah.
You're doing something that is a daily mechanism, but you're getting something beneficial from it, but it's also a positive thing that you can also see progression within in a positive way.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So you replace the negative of the drinking and the shouting and screaming with this thing that you have control of and that you can see day to day an actual change for the better, and that you afterwards, people who haven't done breathwork before, you do feel elated. You're almost a little high because you have saturated your body in this oxygen. Yeah. Like if you were to take an oxygen tank and stick it on you, you get a little high. And it's a similar thing. So you feel
You're removing all the CO2 from your body, aren't you?
And have you ever noticed the world actually looks brighter? If you do it, especially with your eyes closed when you're doing it.
You ever done it in the
eyes
garden? You ever done it outside?
all the time. It's
Yeah.
another place to
Just do it in the morning.
I do it
Tomorrow morning. We should
what I
do it.
used to do. Used to go outside in the morning, sit outside. Alan
Listen to
Watts
the
on.
birds chirping
We'll do it in the
when
morning.
you're doing it.
We'll do it in the morning.
I've
Yeah.
got.
We'll do it.
I've got to help.
If you have to go, and
I do have to go.
not
I've got to. At 9:30, I've got to help Chris move a hot tub.
Okay, we'll do it at 9.
your time travel hot tub.
It takes me about 45 minutes to get
If
out.
that hot tub, if it's not a time travel hot tub, he can wait.
Just wake up early with me and be fine.
But that breath work is powerful, man. Did you know you can redirect more blood flow to the locus coeruleus region of your brain after 4 days than somebody that's been doing meditation for like 4+ years? So essentially, when you're meditating, you're learning to redirect the blood flow to the deeper parts of the brain. But you get that instantly off the breath work, which is why I'm such a huge advocate of it. Because if you're in a really bad mental way, meditation is going to take a while for it to start to become a habit and implement good, in your life. That breath work straight away after, you feel like the stress has left the body.
Yeah, just wanted to dip into, like you said, when you started doing the Wim Hof method and doing the cold showers, did you do it the way he prescribes, where you get in a normal shower and then you'll turn it down?
Always do my hot shower. I still do now. I still do my hot shower first.
Yeah.
I still wash my body with the hot shower, and then I'll just turn it cold for, say, the last 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because when I was thinking, because he has like this thing where you'll do like 10 seconds of it cold, and then like the next time you'll come in, you'll do 50. So you're almost like easing yourself into it. And I literally was like, ice bath, day one. I was just like, I did like 2 minutes in an ice bath.
Lou's added his own section into the ice bath as well. So after you've been in it for a minute, what you do is shout for your long-term girlfriend to come in and look at just how small your penis is.
Yeah, I was just like, Emma, look how small my penis has got.
Literally what you did. That's a Lou optional extra there, guys, if you want to.
We've got a Zenfoul Zach episode on cold water therapy, and you know we've all got a poem like it had on the back of your card earlier. Well, there's one for the Wim Hof method, and the last line is, and he looks down at his pecker that was dangling also ungenerously.
That's such a nice way of putting it.
It is, isn't it?
It's such a nice way of putting
Pecker's
it.
a lovely word.
Pecker and ungenerous. So ungenerously.
So I started recording just literally me doing cold showers. Like I just started documenting my experience of trying to get myself out of this real bad way.
Yeah.
So Zenfoul Men was a way of getting me out of depression. So this is why I know the brand can never fail, because it's a reflection of a big change in my life.
Yeah.
And I record everything that I'm doing to help my own mental health, broadcast it to try help other people, which is why we've got the mental health program coming out soon as well. That'll be launching in the next few weeks.
That's huge, because nobody's really doing this on. Are you doing? Was it an app? What's happening?
It's not an app yet. What we've got is step-by-step video guidance, and it's like a 50-page PDF. But I've condensed all this information down. It's got loads of pretty pictures.
Bro, you gotta get an
etc.
app because people can rip PDFs off.
It's gonna also be an app. Yeah, that'll be the next step.
People, you got to appeal to people's laziness.
Okay.
But also PDFs, people will just rip it off and ship it around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, at the same time, like obviously we're going to sell it as a course. We're going to give one pillar away for free anyway.
Yep.
Which will be the breathwork pillar, which I've got my own audio files. It's similar to the Wim Hof breathwork, but I've put my own twist on things. We use quite cool music in the background, like chill pop or hip hop jazz in like whilst you're doing it.
Hip hop jazz.
Yeah, hip hop jazz is a thing, man. I love hip hop jazz.
I've
man.
not tried a bit of hip hop jazz.
Oh, I'll play you some later.
We'll get it on.
Oh my god, it does taste different after the cigar, right? I've just tasted it because I've just had a toke and then gone, oh wow.
Yeah, and the ice is fully melted now, so it's softened it off for
that's
you,
what
taking
it
that
is.
heat out of it.
Okay.
Yeah, and then that's so now you can sip that and enjoy it, can't you, with the cigar? Whereas before you were originally like neat, ooh boys, I don't know if I can do that. Bam, look what you do within like one glass.
Yeah.
Love it.
So you keep this now daily? Is this a daily thing you do?
Breath work daily.
So how would you structure your breath
every
work?
day. So as soon as I wake up, I go brush my teeth, and I go back to bed, which is lovely. And I just do my breath work in bed, and I will not start my day.
Back under the duvet or on top now?
On top.
Yeah, so you're not.
Sometimes a
back into that
blanket.
bed.
If it's winter, because it gets really cold in my house, I'll have like a little blanket on top.
Yeah.
Because your core body temperature changes quite dramatically, doesn't it, when you're doing the breath work?
So do you have anything playing music-wise? Do you have something going on?
Well, I used to use the Wim Hof app, but now I've kind of got my own things going on with my own audio clips, and we structure it a little bit differently. We have
find that somewhere now.
Not yet, but it'll be out in the next few weeks.
Okay.
As I say, so it'll be getting released.
Yeah, I'll be interested to have a play around with that.
Yeah, I'll send it you boys as well, and you can have a go with it.
We'll
And
do
you
it
can,
and review.
yeah, cool. We could do it in the morning. We could do my audio clip.
We'll 100% will do.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
What time are we getting up there? With you having to get off.
7:30.
When do you have to get off?
Saturday morning.
I need to be leaving at like 8:45 at the latest.
No, that's not too bad.
That's all
Yeah,
right.
So we get up at 8 and do the breathing?
Yeah.
if we get on it straight away, then yeah.
It
Well,
takes
just
15 minutes.
Brush teeth and do it, isn't it?
Yeah, we'll
And
just
then we
brush
can have
teeth.
a quick
Get on
breakfast
it.
and you can.
Yeah, I'm
You
happy
don't
to
tend
shoot.
to-
Obviously, you have to do the breath work before you eat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because when you eat, it redirects the blood flow to your stomach, and you need it
Yeah.
directed to your brain. Yeah.
Yeah, so fasted states is often the best way to do a lot of these things. Definitely.
Do you guys fast? Because that is a big part of my intermittent
Till
fasting
midday
now.
most days.
Yeah.
Always until midday, and then we tend to stop eating. I tend to stop eating around about 10.
Yeah. So you've
Yeah.
got a 10-hour window.
I'm not intermittent fasting at the
10
moment,
hours.
but yeah, I used to do it all the time. I used to just have like a 4-hour eating window for a while.
If I have a focused intermittent fasted time, I immediately shape up better and look better just because I'm more conscious of my eating, not because intermittent fasting is magical, just simply the fact I'm more aware.
Yeah.
So, and when I take that away and start kind of pitter-pattering, I constantly look softer and don't get my calories in.
For a few months back, I was doing every week. I'd do like a 24 or a 36-hour fast.
Really?
Yeah, 24.
You've
some
done
36
long
hours.
stints. Okay, do you want to press record? Are we recording?
There we go.
Oh, we're back on.
Yeah.
So I can do 2 till 8 p.m.
Yeah.
most days.
Yeah.
So I'll that's the only
you're doing
window I'll
6?
eat. Yeah, so I just do a 6-hour window.
That works well for work as well, huh?
But what I find is if I'm, especially on the weekend, if I'm focusing on my business, making content, or got so much more brain power until I have that big meal. When I have that big meal, it's like I can rest.
Yeah,
It's like that hunter-gatherer diet, you know? It's like I've caught my prey, and now it's like I'm done for the day.
Are you going high carb, high fat? What are you doing? Are you monitoring any of that?
Not really. I mean,
'cause
first meal, I will always...
slice of pizza.
If I, to be honest, no, I'm not really monitoring
So
it.
one of
I'll
the
eat as
biggest-
much as I want in that 6-hour window.
Well, one of the biggest things I've done was go fat prioritized over carbs. And so what that does is, one, satiates you quite well, so you don't tend to want to pick as much. But two, it's much more of a sustained release from your fats. So you tend to have less of that brain fog.
Yeah.
Whereas with carbs, you get the peak and then the crash.
Yeah.
So I've always found carbs around activity, fats outside of that. So when you sat working, I tend to go like hummus and meat and stuff like that if I want like a snack.
I have a lot of meat first meal.
Yeah, meat's
Full
good.
English is the
Yeah,
I know it's
you're
bad
getting
meat,
fats,
but-
you're getting fats and protein in there.
Yeah.
So if you just avoid like a load of bread with that meal and stuff like that.
Thing is with intermittent fasting as well, because especially if you have got a fairly condensed eating window, it's actually kind of hard to overeat. In if you've got a 4-hour or a 6-hour eating window, depending on what your appetite's like as a person, some people just won't be able to get 3,000 calories in 6 hours.
I'd have to go a bit dirty to get it in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, especially if you are eating like pizza, then maybe But if you're being at least half sensible about how you eat,
Simple things like cooking everything in coconut oil is a good one. Drizzling olive oil on your food is another way of getting it in easy. What's the other things tricks we came up with, which are good?
What's this,
Obviously eating like higher
fats,
fat red meats and stuff like that, but obviously you won't want to do that every day because it's not so good for your gut biome, whatever. But cheese and stuff like that, it's a great way of getting your fats in. Good butcher's sausages.
a little bit of avocado as well. I could eat avocado.
Oh, avocado is amazing.
Salmon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Smoked salmon is one part.
So we have actually got an intermittent fasting section on the program as well. I haven't actually said what the program consists of. I probably should.
Yeah.
So it consists everything that changed my life, everything that helped me get myself into a good state.
Yeah.
It's got like gratitude, breath work, cold water therapy. We've got a lot of mindfulness techniques on there as well that I've kind of picked out the ones that
Gratitude
worked
thing's a
really
good
good.
one.
Did you have a
Gratitude's
gratitude journal?
amazing,
Whiteboard
man.
thing.
Just
Yeah. Journal
writing
or
down
anything.
3 things every day.
Yeah.
But like, there is a knack to it. Like when you're like preaching to the universe what you're grateful for, if you look up to the sky and really feel it, I can genuinely feel energy coming from like within. But writing it down, I think, is so important because it's like you're confirming it to yourself.
But they say as well, because we live in a type nation of everything, type.
Yeah.
We don't adhere to that like we do writing something.
Writing is
Writing it down,
key.
it adheres it to you, sears it into your brain.
It's like reading.
I think it's like it's something ridiculous, like 80%.
Yeah, you're
effective.
going to retain that information.
Yeah.
A lot easier.
Naval always says like listening to audiobooks instead of reading is like drinking your vegetables instead of eating them.
I prefer to do both of those.
But it's like even if you do listen to audiobooks, if there's something you really want to take in, you should be writing down these
You
points.
could
'cause
write
then you-
notes from your
Yeah.
audiobooks.
Exactly, yeah,
So you
yeah.
can, you
Or
can
like
say-
highlight it. If I've listened to an audiobook that I really, really like, I will get a physical
Well, will you
copy
send
of
me
it.
those coin things, whatever it is, to get me doing something with
You
Audible.
need to sort yourself out, mate. We've been talking about this for like
Yeah.
a year and a half.
If you
and
do
have
it, I'll be like, I need to use these. 'cause
I'm pretty
Lou's-
sure I've sent you them
Lou's
before.
gone out of his way to do this. I'll use them to
I'm
listen
pretty
to
sure
a
I've sent you
book.
some before. I'll send you some more. I've got some credits on Audible, so yeah, I'll do
You
that.
can do this credit thing where you pass it to friends. Or something.
Yeah, I'll give you.
Yeah.
I'll send you some credits so you can get a couple of books.
Do you boys
I
have a
think,
Kindle? Do you use a
I
Kindle?
can't, I'm
stand it.
dyslexic, so I struggle to read for extended
okay.
periods of
Yeah.
And I
time.
don't
really.
like them. I'd rather have a book in my hand.
Yeah,
I tried a Kindle
that's
on a
me.
holiday and I literally never picked it up again afterwards. I hated every moment of it. It just didn't feel
few
right.
people
Having that
said that.
physical copy of a book
Yeah.
as well, you
And
like kind
also
of get an
the
emotional attachment.
Fucking
to
thing
it.
had kept pissing off into another chapter because I'd swiped or done something wrong on the screen. Then I have no clue what page I was on.
Yeah.
And I'd have to, and it would have jumped like 100 pages. So I'd be just skipping back. No, ruining parts of the book for myself now because I'm reading paragraphs.
Oh, yep, spoiled that one.
Yep,
Not
cheers, brilliant. Oh, they're dead. Great. So I just ended up. I've got it. I couldn't
Pretty
even
sure
tell
this
you
was
where
a
it
ghost
is.
at the-
I think it's stuck behind the radiator upstairs because it fell behind it. And I was like, that's where you're living because you suck. That's where you belong.
What books would you boys recommend? You already said The Chimp Paradox.
Yeah, I think that would be a great one. I think for me, another one that's really useful is black box thinking.
Yeah.
That's just about kind of your approach to failure.
Okay.
And why that's actually a really good thing when you make mistakes, as long as you analyse and work out better kind of methods from that. In terms of like mindfulness as well, I'm trying to think. Like Chimp Paradox was definitely a really good one.
Doesn't have to be mindfulness. Anything that just tickles you.
Tickles me pickle.
Tickles your pickle.
Atomic Habits. I talk about it all the time. but Atomic Habits
James
is a book.
Clear, man, what a book.
Yeah, it's
That's
an
a
awesome
great
book.
book.
Because
I haven't done any of this.
No?
That's all I need to do.
Yeah.
I need to
Yeah.
do all of these.
Yeah, you do.
I'm kind of happy I haven't as well because I've got it all to look forward to.
yeah. Oh yeah, they got so much.
I've read
What
nothing.
books would you
mindful
recommend?
Oh, I read nonsense. I read like loads of Terry Pratchett books and stuff like that.
Okay.
Just stuff that disconnects me from all of the other muddle in my brain. Something that just gives me focus on characters and it's really descriptive.
Have you ever read
books.
The Alchemist?
Ooh, maybe.
By Paulo Coelho.
Did I start that? I definitely didn't finish it.
Bro, that is an amazing book.
Yeah.
I feel like you'd know if you read it.
Yeah.
It's like a tale, but it's like about traveling and about like following your dreams. Oh wow, that book is incredible. Made me cry.
Oh,
That
really?
book made
Yeah,
me cry.
See,
Like the
that's
last
the power of
page,
the
I was
book,
like,
yeah.
oh wow.
Power of the book. Yeah. I do
Mum's
like
like, what
that.
the fuck are you laughing at? What are you crying at? I'm like, it's a busy book. Like, she's like, what the fuck?
What? Yeah.
I love it when somebody recommends me a book though, and then I can go away and read it because when after we had Imran on, and he invited us to go to his gym, and you weren't able to make it for some reason.
Yeah, we tried, but
And-
you got rearranged and rearranged. and I
Yeah,
couldn't get there, yeah.
so I just went over there, went out, went and got some food after, and we were driving back, and we were just like, after we pulled up, we were just sat in the car just chatting for ages, and he was telling me about a book that he read as a kid called White Fang, and he was like, oh, it made me cry, and then just seeing like Imran, this massive geezer, just saying
Yeah.
like, this book made me cry. Literally, I downloaded it then and there. As I was driving home, I started listening to it on Audible, and mate, it was brilliant, and I really liked that, because then I feel like now I have like a slight, it's hard to explain, but like I've got a little bit of a connection with
him.
Imran
Yeah, of
through
course.
this like one thing that like, because 99.9% of the people you're ever going to meet and don't know that story and they haven't like got that level of connection. So it's always nice, especially when there's a group of you, and then like you have, I don't know, something will happen, especially if it's a book that's something to do with, you know, your approach to life. Something like that. Some shit crops up all the time, and then you're like, this is like when you mentioned the monkey mind. That kind of reminded me of stuff that's talked about in the chimp paradox. So then I was like, maybe that's something that like you've read.
But you know now you've got a conversation,
and then we can leave
Lex
Lex out of it. Like, you don't know because you haven't read it.
Bully me, make me belittle me,
just like
make me feel small.
Reading
But
Terry
me
Pratchett
sat here
books.
listening makes me feel left out in a good way because I'm like, fuck, I need to read
that's
these
good.
things because I got two guys next to me who like I'm looking at that I don't think are morons. I'm thinking
Really handsome guys.
Yeah, just handsome, genuine, generously penis guys, right?
Not after the ice bath.
And it makes me think, man, you got some shit to do.
Yeah,
and that's the whole point is when you leave the group of people you're with, you should have that mentality of, I've got shit to do.
And this is what anxiety is for me now. Like, anxiety now is a tool to get shit done. Like, if I'm feeling anxious, because I know I've got, oh my God, I've got
you're slacking
a bit of content,
somewhere.
so I've got to update that website. I've got to do, so like all of these feelings are just signals.
So you got the anxiety of thinking, I need these jobs to do. But then the other side of it would be that then that could turn into, I can't do all this, I can't cope with it all. And that's when that one thought is then controlled by your meditation brain that comes in and goes, okay, so we're going to calm down, we're going to set all
That's
these
when
in
the breath
line,
work comes
and we're
in,
going to come in,
meditation.
and we're going to keep, and we're going to just tick them off and go. And that's when the gratitude board comes in, or where the little tick box list that we've talked about before on the podcast. It's all these things of just taking everything that you need to do, channeling those energy in the right direction. So like you said, anxiety can be channeled for a positive, or it can be left to spiral uncontrolled with no boundaries and take you in a real negative direction. So we're not saying that you're going to cure your anxiety. What we're saying is you're going to be able to control and focus.
You're going to
it.
use it as a tool to allow you to get shit
It's like fighters who say when they go into a fight, like people assume fighters when they're going in aren't scared, and every fighter will tell you, everyone will tell you, "Are you stupid? I'm going to go in there. Of course I'm scared. It's what drives me. It's what keeps me sharp."
Yeah, anxiety is an innate thing in humans. Like you're not going to cure anxiety. You're going to learn to manage it because, you know, we've grown up fucking. Well, not we haven't grown up, but like our ancestors were like, you know, trying to run away from fucking tigers or whatever the hell that they were doing. Like being anxious is good because they're alert and they're aware of threats around
unfortunately,
them.
these fucking things that makes our minds not know when to be anxious, or you know, silly things can trigger us.
Yeah.
But I think social media is, don't get me wrong, it's a great tool, but people need to be really careful what they're consuming on Instagram. The best thing I ever did was mute people. So when I was fucking going on stories and shit's making me feel weird and making me feel anxious and stressed, I'm like, do you know what? I'm just going to start muting these people.
So it's not thrown into you. It's not like spammed.
Yeah, Instagram's weird. It's like the multiverse, man. Like your Instagram will be completely different to my Instagram.
Yeah.
So everyone's consuming different shit.
Mine's just cat and dog videos.
Koala bears screaming.
Frogs screaming.
Frogs. But talking on anxiety, there is one book, as we talked about books, Richard Carlson, Don't Sweat the Small Stuff.
Oh, I've heard of this one.
This was an incredible book for allowing me to put stuff into perspective. So if anyone is listening and gets anxious, buy that book.
Yeah.
That's a really good book.
Well worth it. And little things that helped me as well was the 2-minute rule and stuff like that. There's loads of little things you can implement. So
You ever done the sacred pause?
sacred pause.
The sacred pause. Similar to the 2-minute rule.
Okay.
Kind of. It's a 3-minute meditation, literally. So you just take yourself out of your environment that you're in. If it's a high stress environment, you can feel yourself getting really worked up. Take yourself somewhere alone. They visually structure it like, you know, like the sand timers. So it's wide at the top, goes narrow, then wide again. So you'll start off, you'll just close your eyes and you'll listen to the sounds around you, feel into your body as a whole, and then you go narrow for 1 minute. So that's for 1 minute. Then for 1 minute after that, you focus on your breath. Just for 1 minute, just focus on that's the narrow. So you've narrowed your consciousness down to just the breathing in and out. And then after that, you go back to wide. So then you'll go back to listening to the sounds in your body, the sounds outside, you know, what's abnormal, what feels, and then feel the body again after. So think about how you felt before and after. And it's crazy how 3 minutes can make you feel completely different, man.
That was one of my favourite parts of. So I've done some guided meditations. I've used like Headspace. I've used what's the other one? Calm.
Yeah, calm.
Done some like. Yeah, they're all right. And I always used to like when you were coming out of it, and then it was like, and start to feel your body again, and then like you can like move your hands and feet a little bit, like start to feel everything. I don't know why, but there was something really satisfying about that. I almost wanted to stay in that part of the meditation for way longer. There was something really nice because I think my head was clearer, even though at the time it was hard to kind of say exactly. But yeah, there was something really like, I don't know, nice about like it felt like you're putting your trousers on, but it's not your trousers, it's you. You're like getting back into your body. It was
I think the
nice
music always
sensation.
helps as well, like the Hertz, you know.
The Hertz is a huge one. So the one I was talking about before, when we were talking about having the stories done, that's from an app called Slumber, and in the background you can have a binaural tone pulsing. So I have the binaural tone going. It's like,
yeah.
and you don't even hear it once it's going, but it's. That I think is what sets that app apart from others. Is that binaural tone, that frequency they use on that is it hands down is one of the best ones.
The
for
Dr.
me
Joe Dispenza ones for me are incredible. There's
I've read a few of his books as well.
Becoming Supernatural.
No, I haven't. That's not what I haven't read. So
that
I've
one is
read You
incredible.
Are the Placebo and.
What we need to do is make a list of all these books you've said, and we'll have it in the description. So if you
100%.
can make a list of the books that you can remember, I'll just spam them in the description so people can go and check them out.
Audible
and
needs to
find them.
sponsor us, to be honest.
So many books.
I'll try and find Audible. If we can find Audible links for you, we will do that.
Yeah.
You got a top up, boys? What are we saying? Are we,
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
Look at him.
I know, yeah, he's wanting more.
Game.
Connoisseur now.
Yeah.
Oh,
there you go.
better
I was just
pop
doing
as
it
well.
wrong. I was.
We're popping.
Too
Yeah.
strong. Ripping
Yeah.
it too quick.
Yeah. Too much power.
So now you're going to go tough because you're going to go neat.
Oh, no ice?
No ice. So we'll only do it as a little one because what we'll do is we'll switch this up when we go downstairs and we'll try something different. Because this one is a little bit
And by try something different.
a little bit mean.
I'm talking about the plant variety.
And we've lost the lighter, yeah?
Light is right there.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. So, well, wow. I think we're coming up on the 90s, boys.
That's cool.
We are indeed. Yes.
We're there.
We are there.
I think we're there for today.
Completed.
I think we've completed it.
Completely, mate.
So we're going to record a short after this, just very quickly. I think we'll do one on the best things, the best proactive, simple, small. What's the word for it?
Mindfulness things to do, or
Mindfulness
is it to
techniques.
help manage anxiety?
Simple mindfulness techniques that you can implement on a daily basis. Like you said, the 3-minute one. And we'll talk about the 2-minute thing for keeping you. We'll talk about those in the short, which we're going to record now, which you'll hear after this podcast. 22.
One thing I've said, like, we want to get you back on. Let me know in the comments what you think. I think we should try and do a lot like a podcast while we've got an ice bath, and we just take it in turns dipping into an ice
we
bath.
should
And
do that.
How are we going to do that? We have to be outside, obviously.
We can do that. We can do it.
Maybe we could bring the
We've got
tripod to
portables,
my garden.
We've got yes, because we've got portable sound system here. This moves anywhere.
100%.
All you need to do is take his microphones on a stand, and we're good to go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you're not that far away, right?
Yeah, about
So there
an
we
hour.
go. Yeah.
We're all good.
Oh, easy.
Can I do a
100%.
couple shout outs
If you
before?
Yes,
want to,
you
if you want to
go.
hear us in an
Shout
ice
out,
bath,
so
let us
links, shout outs, links, and whatnot. Go.
So I feel like I didn't completely finish what we've achieved, first of all. So I'd just like to say £13,150 for charity in 15 months. We've donated 25 hoodies to the homeless. We've sponsored 3 individuals with counselling. And if there is any lads out there which really struggles to initiate counselling sessions or therapy, feel free to get in touch with me. Give me a message. Zenfold Men is here for anybody that is struggling. We're not just a clothing brand, although we do sell absolutely fire clothing.
It is honestly, genuinely, I can see the effort that's gone into the design of these. Yeah,
It's nice,
it's
good
good.
quality.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, I'd like to shout out the charities. So shout out Mind Charity for helping me, for using their helpline when I was in a really bad place. Shout out My Black Dog and Eddie Temple for all the support they've given me. And the team, photographer Jake Anderson, Matty Williams, Dom Forte, Peter Hartley, Cam Healy, from Jim Shaw.
Cam.
Cam.
You love Cam.
Yeah.
Cam is a beautiful
Oh,
human
he told me
being.
to say, he says hello, for him and his dad say hello.
Yes, his dad is a
His
boy.
dad's a legend.
Man, I went for lunch with his dad, and he was one of the guys that made me become more spiritual.
Yeah, me too. He's got that, you know,
He is
someone looks
levels.
into your soul.
Bro, have you spoke to his dad?
Yeah.
Levels.
Yeah.
Another unit. Oh,
Yeah,
bro.
mate,
He
incredible.
doesn't speak to anyone about it, but what he's done,
Yeah.
you just sit
Top
there
secret.
in awe.
Yeah.
That
really?
is crazy. Yeah.
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 So he was the guy that actually got me into the Gymshark gig.
Dude, we should set up lunch up with Cam and his dad.
Oh, we so should.
Just for...
We'll bring him over to my garden because
Yeah,
he always
let's do
comes
that.
over to mine, so we can come
doing
get.
that. I'm gonna message
He's
Cam after
still.
this.
You need to still get in the barrel, Cam. I've been trying to get you in that barrel for time.
Cam will do it.
Yeah, well, he keeps saying it, but then he's like,
getting
"Oh,
there,
sorry,
be
I've got
writing.
something to
He'll
do
be
this
writing.
afternoon," and then he just doesn't turn up.
There's some beautiful human beings in this world, and fuck me, I need to make some messages. I'm going to send them all a message after this.
But yeah, mental health program coming out in the next few weeks. The 7 pillars,
Where do they need
everything
to
that
be to
changed my
find it?
life. It will be on our website. Follow us on Instagram, and you'll see it launched.
So it's
there
zenfulmen.com.
first. Zenfulmen.com. We're actually building a separate website for the program where people
It's
can
the
subscribe.
7 pillars.
The 7 pillars, everything that changed my
Yeah, so
life.
if we can get
Zenful
hold
Men
of that, we can do a
.com.
little review on that as well. From
We'll
like,
do it,
our
yeah,
experience.
we'll get in
I'm
it.
happy to run that for a few
So you
weeks
go,
and
guys.
like see how that's actually like
Yeah.
affecting my because I'm not going to get into it at all now. But a few people asked me the other day because obviously I'm injured at the moment. I've been out of training. My routine's all fucked basically. And the first few weeks I was sound. I was like, that's cool. Got a new dog, so that's kind of taking up a lot of my time. But this last week I feel like it has caught up to me, and then I'm just like.
It will eventually. Even me
I'm
with my
just like,
arm when
I'm
I was
fucking-
blasting that thing.
I'm not feeling great.
There were still moments.
Spicy now.
Different game,
That's
isn't
a
it?
different game,
game
boys.
without the
Yeah.
ice.
Jeez.
So there we go, guys.
yeah.
Zenfulmen.com. Make sure to follow them on Zenful_men, is it?
Yeah,
On
that's one.
Instagram. And we will get Sam back, and we'll let you know how to get on with that.
Thank you for
Pillars
having me as
program.
well, boys.
Absolute pleasure, sir. And we will catch you all in the next one. Make sure that you have a great week. Make it a great goddamn week. Whatever was bad in the week that's gone, leave that behind like the wake of a boat. Bring forward what was good and make it a great week.
If there is anyone out there struggling, genuinely push through the hard times, because when you're depressed, you genuinely don't feel like you've got any grasp on your life. Just keep going, and there is support out there for anyone that needs it.
Reach out. There's people here. That just gave me goosebumps with that.
Boom.
Boom. We're out, man. Catch you next one, guys.
Toodle pip.
Toodle pip.